go!
Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Pewter City, where the Pewter Stones are hosting the Humalao Cascade. The Cascade have that water type advantage over the rock types, and they're going to start out big with Kingdra, the part dragon type, and Arctivish as well. But Tyranitar, so the Pewter Stones are starting out even bigger with a pseudo legendary and Barbarical, as Tyranitar with that on Nerve will make the Humalao Cascade too nervous to eat their berries, and Kingdra starts out with the Zen headbutt onto Barbarical, and Barbarical responds with the Defog. Defog isn't going to be much help. It's only going to lower Arctivish's evasiveness, and recover from Tyranitar is not going to help whatsoever. And overheat, Tyranitar avoids that attack from Arctivish, and heavy slam now coming from Kingdra. That's 2 attacks in a row by Kingdra onto Barbarical. Looks like that's the target at the moment. They're avoiding the pseudo legendary. The poison powder from Barbarical will poison Arctivish. It's going to be taking damage intermittently. As Tyranitar goes with the tickle, it isn't going to capitalize on its massive attack stat. 134, Kingdra having its attack and defense lowered there from that tickle, and Arctivish going with the Dragon Breath onto the pseudo legendary. Tyranitar not taking a great deal of damage, however, as Arctivish takes that poison damage from that poison powder. Kingdra keeping up its offense, going for the Vice Grip on Tyranitar, even though it's not very effective, and Barbarical now going with the Force Palm. Kingdra taking its first damage of the matchup, and it's going to leave Kingdra with a paralysis. Barbarical coming out with the status conditions. Dazzling Gleam from Tyranitar, super effective on Kingdra, also doing damage to Arctivish, and Arctivish going with the Dragon Pulse now onto Tyranitar. Now they're trying to get rid of the pseudo legendary, as Arctivish takes more damage from that poisoning, fair amount there, as Barbarical going with another poison type move, that cross poison onto Kingdra, and Kingdra is taken down. Kingdra is eliminated by Barbarical. Very good hit there, as Tyranitar is going to set up for a Skull Bash. It's going to boost its defense here when it tucks its head. Try and connect with that Skull Bash on the next turn. That first impression from Arctivish is going to fail. It's a little too late in the matchup to be doing that move, as that poison keeps doing damage to it. Blastoise now coming out onto the field, and that Psycho Cut will fail, and Tyranitar avoids it, as Barbarical sets up an Electric Terrain. This is actually really good for the Pewter Stones if they can capitalize on it, since the Humalao Cascade are already weak to electric type attacks. Get that boost from the electric current on the field, and Tyranitar going with that Skull Bash onto Arctivish, and Arctivish is eliminated. A huge hit there by Tyranitar, as Wailord now comes out onto the field. Now Blastoise setting up for the Muddy Water. Looks like it's going to hit both Tyranitar and Barbarical. Avoids that move, but Tyranitar barely holds on. Now that ally switch coming from Barbarical, it's going to switch places with Tyranitar. This could be really good, as Tyranitar goes to the Accelera onto Wailord. A good hit there, but Wailord's going to respond with a Darkest Lariat, and you see it swinging across the field, and Tyranitar is eliminated. Even though that move wasn't very effective, Tyranitar was barely hanging on as it was, and now Archeops comes out onto the field and immediately goes for the Venoshock onto Blastoise. Blastoise taking minimal damage there, and Blastoise responds with a Moonlight. So that damage it did take, it's already back to full strength. Good play there by Blastoise, making Archeops' move a waste. Barbarical, though, going with the Air Cutter, hits both Wailord and Blastoise, doing very little damage. And now Wailord goes with the Glare, targeting Barbarical. And Barbarical now has a status condition of its own, being paralyzed. Archeops setting up a Curse. This Curse is going to lower some stats of Archeops', lowering its speed, but however it will boost its attack and defense. Now Archeops has that 140 attack, so it's giving it a boost there. And now Blastoise, you see, lowering the attack stat of Barbarical, whilst also restoring its own health there. And Wailord going with the Giga Drain onto Barbarical. Huge hit. Barbarical is eliminated 4 times. Super effective move there by Wailord, also restoring its own health. Fantastic play, taking out the Water Rock type. And now Carracosta, another Water Rock type, coming out onto the field. We have 2 fossil Pokemon. Carracosta immediately takes damage from Blastoise. And Archeops, though, responds with a Drill Run onto Wailord. A very good hit there. Wailord's going to respond with a Rising Voltage. This will be super effective on Carracosta. And Carracosta is eliminated from the matchup. And just like that, the Cascade have taken the lead, as the electricity will disappear from the field. Wailord capitalizing on that electric current right before it leaves. We have Colossal now coming out onto the field. The water types need to capitalize on that fire water typing. Not very effective hit from Blastoise, as it steals Colossal's Leopard Berry and eats it right in front of its face. And Archeops, though, going with the Heat Crash. Looks like it's going to go for Blastoise. not very effective again on the Blastoise, who now we have Wailord going with the Mach Punch, super effective move there on Colossal, and Colossal's going to respond with a Spark and eliminate Wailord from this matchup. These sides are hitting hard and fast, taking each other out. 3 down for both sides as Wishy-Washy comes out onto the field, and with its schooling ability, is going to become the most powerful Pokemon that we have in the PokeType League, boosting all of its stats here. Blastoise goes for an Aurora Beam onto Colossal, not very effective there. And Archeops goes with the Bulk Up, going to boost its own stats here, trying to make itself more powerful than Wishy-Washy, you have to think. Colossal though going with the Noble Roar onto Wishy-Washy. A huge school of Pokemon, looks very terrifying in its current form and has its attack and special attack lowered and goes for the Horn Drill, but Colossal avoids it. Blastoise though going for the Mega Kick onto Colossal, chipping away even though it wasn't very effective, and Archeops sets up the Misty Terrain over the battlefield. Wishy-Washy, huge stats here, 140 attack and 140 special attack. Very good to have those stats lowered by the Pewter Stones. Bad for the Cascade. Wishy-Washy though goes for the Slash onto Archeops, and not very effective. Minimal damage on the Flying Rock type. Head Smash though from Blastoise, much more damage to Archeops. Super effective, but huge recoil damage there for Blastoise, and Archeops goes with the Torment, targeting the school of Wishy-Washy. Wishy-Washy being subjected to that Torment, but responds with the Skitter Smack onto Colossal. Not very effective again, chipping away at the huge Rock Fire type. Also lowering Colossal's special attack, who goes for the Aura Sphere. And it targets Blastoise, and Blastoise is hanging on in this matchup and responds with an Octo Lock onto Colossal. Colossal can no longer escape. It doesn't receive any damage as a substitute is failed by Archeops, who doesn't have enough strength left to perform the move. Earth Power there onto Wishy-Washy from Colossal, who's then hit by the struggle in response to Wishy-Washy. Wishy-Washy taking more damage, although having its defenses lowered there. An Endeavor from Blastoise almost eliminates Colossal, who's hanging on Archeops now with the Zen Headbutt, going for Wishy-Washy, chipping away there, and Wishy-Washy is going to respond with a Whirlpool. A very good play, super effective. Archeops is eliminated with that super effective move. Wishy-Washy taking it out and getting the lead back for the Cascaders. Colossal goes with this Stomping Tantrum, and that's going to eliminate Blastoise. So Blastoise is taken down. You have 2 Pokemon left on both sides as Wishy-Washy's schooling has subsided and it's back into its single form. It's now the weakest Pokemon in the entire PokeType League as Tyrantrum now comes out, and Inteleon for the Cascade. Tyrantrum for the Stones as that cross chop from Inteleon is going to eliminate Colossal and immediately give the lead to the Cascade. But you have to think, with Wishy-Washy on the field, it's barely going to have any impact as Tyrantrum sets up a substitute. This could be a very good play for Tyrantrum being the last Pokemon. Wishy-Washy trying for this, the struggle on it, which does no damage to the substitute, but eliminates Wishy-Washy. Wishy-Washy has eliminated itself. So Inteleon versus Tyrantrum as the battlefield is cleared. And Inteleon going with the Razor Shell, trying to take down that substitute as it finally fades. Tyrantrum though coming back onto the field for the substitute and performs a Torment, which could potentially leave Inteleon with struggling on the field. Inteleon is going to actually perform that struggle. It will hit Tyrantrum, but it does damage to itself. This is huge. Tyrantrum following it up with a Dazzling Gleam, continuing to cause Inteleon to have damage done to it. And as Inteleon responds with a Thundershock, not very effective, but it will paralyze Tyrantrum. This will open the window for Inteleon, but Tyrantrum goes with the Psyshock here. They're both chipping away at each other, and Inteleon is still hanging on by a thread, but it has no moves left. It's going to go for the struggle. It's going to get the recoil damage, and it does eliminate itself. That is huge. The Pewter Stones have won. They have held on, and the Cascade are unsuccessful in Pewter City today. 1 Pokemon left, Tyrantrum standing strong for the Pewter Stones. This is great. This will put Pewter Stones in 5th at the moment as we're only 5 games into the season so far. This ladder will update at the end of every matchup. Next round, it'll be the Humliao Cascade versus the New Morphle Devils, whereas the Cinnabar Flare will face the Pewter Stones in an all-Kanto battle. But our next matchup will be the Goldenrod Balance facing the Sandalwoon Swarm. Until then though, Nidorinas, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will see you when you see me.